Welcome back to the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Steve Hughes. It's now time for the Kern County Raceway segment, the final 15. And joining me today is the general manager of Kern County Raceway, Larry Collins.
Wow, yeah,
How you like that title?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
I might be the first time publicly I was introduced that way.
I think that is correct. That's why I wanted to have you on today and just welcome you, obviously, back into local short track racing. And over the last month or so, I've had an opportunity to work with you, man. And how do you feel coming back and getting ready?
It feels really good. It really does. It feels there's a level of comfort there. A little. It's what I'm used to doing. Even though I haven't done it in over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the race series. We've traveled around to other race tracks and put on the events. But to be doing it back in Bakersfield feels there's a lot of comfort there, and the fact that you're on board and we worked together at Mesa Marin, years ago, and I don't know, it just feels very. I'm very at peace with it, and it feels really good. I'm excited about working on things for next year, and I don't know, it just feels really good.
October 1st was your first official day on the job, so you've had you've been out there to the track, obviously, with the Spears Southwest Tour Series and see how we kind of run things, and then you've started coming out about mid-season and checking things out, but now you've actually had your boots on the ground with some events out at the racetrack. What'd you think about the King of the Wing, the George Snyder Classic last Sunday?
It's an event not to miss.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I mean, last year I showed up just for kind of practice and qualifying, and I had to leave for something else that was going on with the family. And this year, of course, I was there throughout the duration. And man, I mean, the anticipation is you're sitting there just waiting for those cars. I mean, because all day you see them, they're out practicing, they're qualifying, the speeds and just the way they can attack the corner, flat-footed.
Right.
Like, there's no other race car that goes to the corner at Kern County like a wing sprint car. So yeah, by the time the main event rolled around, I mean, it was just like everyone's in a frenzy of anticipation just to see it happen. It was cool.
Sure, we get to honor a great local racing legend, George Snyder, and then we get the fastest race cars to ever hit the big high banks at KCRP, and what an event it was. And we're going to check out some photos right now from that Sunday matinee that we had, and there you see, I mean, big high-powered wing sprint cars, 360 or 410 cubic inch V8 engines, and these guys, like Larry said, hardly lift off of that gas pedal. They may just blurp it right going into the corner. There's the man himself, Ziggy George Snyder. He's been out there for the last 3 years. This was the third annual event honoring him, and just seeing some great side-by-side racing early on in their heat races and in their main event. And then, of course, we also had some local racing divisions as well. We had the NASCAR Super Stocks were out there, along with the INEX Legends and the 911 Racing Series. But, man, just I can't believe the side-by-side and the way that these cars handle and come off the corner and can dodge, duck, and dive to get around the guys that are in front of them.
Literally takes your breath away. And on that, and you'll know the restart. Sierra Jackson, the defending race winner, puts it on the flat, getting into turn one, bounces up onto two, saves it, makes a pass. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, I was actually speechless at that time. Right. I mean, they kind of. They start on those restarts. They start a little bit early, so they are just about up to full song when they cross the start-finish line. And she had caught the car that was in front of her, and there was a car beside that car. She dove down to the inside underneath the white line. I mean, I saw just they stir up so much air behind those race cars, and I was just kind of holding my breath to see what was going to happen as she went into turn one.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
Yeah, and there is Sierra Jackson, the first lady of wing sprint car racing. She won the George Snyder Classic last year, came home with the second place finish this year.
The queen of the wing.
Yeah, the queen of the wing. And I told her in the pits, I said, Sierra, here's the deal. If you can go back-to-back, and win this deal tonight, we will change the name for this race to the Queen of the Wing.
I love it.
Yeah.
And she got close.
She did. She was closing on this driver right here, the number 7 of JoJo Hellberg late.
Oh, man, that guy is something else, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, up high, third groove, he didn't care. He
could put it anywhere.
Yeah, he was most impressive. And interesting fact, he hadn't raced most all year.
No.
I mean, pulled the car out 10 days ago.
Dusted it off. Didn't even decide to come to Stockton and Kern until Wednesday before the race.
Wow.
Yeah, so they basically put that car together in 2 days and made Stockton, then made the trip down
And become the West Coast champion.
And
for
won the
series.
West Coast Championship.
I love that. I love that.
Your winner, JoJo Hellberg in the 7, the 25 of Sierra Jackson was third. Jason Kahn, this is a pretty interesting story. He is a driver from Canada, and obviously living north of the United States border, winters last a little bit longer than they do in Southern California, right? And every single racetrack that he went to was a first-time racetrack for him. So he ended up finishing third in the national points, third at our race, and winning Rookie of the Year for the national tour.
It's impressive. That's impressive.
It certainly is.
Right.
I mean, to not go to any of those racetracks throughout the country. So Davey Kahn completes the podium. Davey Hamilton Jr., with that fourth-place finish in the 45 car, wins the King of the Wing National Sprint Car Championship. Congratulations to him. The Canadian Ron Larson finished fifth in this race, and that was the national championship points were coming down to DJ, Davey Hamilton Jr., and Ron Larson. And there was kind of a race inside of a race there for most of that 30-lap feature.
Right on.
And so Ron also wins the Owners' Championship points nationally as well. Then we kind of shifted gears and are going to now look at our NASCAR Super Stocks, their penultimate race of the season. They've got one more coming up on this weekend to determine their track championship. And, yeah, there was a little bit of a bumping and banging and maybe some controversy there.
One heck of a race.
Certainly was.
I mean, it was everyone. I mean, there were so many battles in the top four or for the lead throughout. And then you see Gene Fife, who got into the wall early in the race, dropped back, and you're thinking, okay, Gene's just hanging on, trying to ride this thing out. Next thing you know, back at the front.
He did. He occupied every single position. Like Larry said, he clipped the wall coming out of turn 2, bent the front end a little bit, dropped back, and I think he just started to test the car and keep testing it, see how fast he could go with the damage to the front. And with Johnny Bedingfield and the 22 and the 13 of Chris Dalton having an incident there in 3 and 4, that opened the door for him.
That was a battle for the lead.
That was a battle for the lead. For several laps, they were wheel to wheel.
Right.
It ended up Johnny getting loose, entering turn 3, getting into Chris. Chris spins out, but both cars going to the back of the pack. Dalton did battle back and wind up finishing third, Bedingfield fourth, Paul Ebersbacher fifth, the Milkman Perrin Kutstra second, and the Mountain Man Gene Fife with his third NASCAR Superstock victory of the year. He is your points leader.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, from drop of the green flag, those guys were going for it. I mean, it was a great crowd to be racing in front of and the championship implications, but I just can't believe the way Gene got, early on, made a mistake like you don't see Gene Fife do. And you thought, okay, Gene, he's going to lose some points. It's going to be a tough night for him. Dalton can maybe capitalize on it. And it was just fascinating how the complexion of the race changed so much.
Over those 30 laps, had 8 cautions, so that worked in the favor of Gene, allowed him to get back up into it. But the parity in that division is something that's very tight.
Oh, it's great. Great to watch.
Yeah, and then we move on to the INEX Legends, and now with Colton Page winning this next to last main event in the 24P, now 5 points out of the lead that Tyler Bannister in the 51 holds with just one race to go.
Comes down to this Saturday.
Comes down to this Saturday night.
Down to whoever finishes in front of the other, I assume, for the championship.
It's gonna three things are gonna be a factor. Qualifying bonus points. If Colton Page can qualify quick and finish in front of Tyler Bannister, then we're tied. If Colton Page wins that main event and Tyler Bannister finishes second, with Colton Page being the quick qualifier, they are tied again. Wow. Then we'll have to go down to second place finishes where they will be tied. Then it's going to go to thirds. I don't know how we're going to determine the tiebreaker in the INEX Legends, but it's going to be a tight one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. And then the 911 Racing Series, of course, our first responders doing a fantastic job in the quarter mile in our Pro 4s. Ryan Wegas getting the victory from the Kern County Probation Department. Their first win in a long, long time. Brian Terry actually got the first win ever for probation, but it's been a season plus for the guys from KC
Ryan was
Probation.
Third, entering turn 3 on the last lap, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And they were nose to tail, those top 3 for the entire 15 laps. Coming down to the final turn, Oh boy, yeah, the sheriff's department and Shafter PD get entangled,
Right.
and Ryan Wegas was able to move to the outside, and then it was a drag race with the Shafter PD car, and he beat him by a bumper. So congratulations to Ryan.
I mean, there was great racing
Yeah,
throughout
from start
the
to
evening.
finish.
Throughout the evening, it was
Yeah.
really good,
Yeah,
really good stuff.
Certainly was from start to finish. Well, we've got some big things coming up in October as well. This Saturday night at Kern County Raceway is the Budweiser NASCAR Championship season finale. 5 NASCAR and track champions will be decided on this Saturday night. NASCAR late models, NASCAR super stocks, NASCAR spec mods, our NASCAR mini stocks, and the INEX Legends. Now, spec mods, it's going to come down to it. Only 5 points separating Kevin Callahan, who is your points leader, and Jim Coffey, who's in second. Mini stocks, this is the one that's just insane. 2 points separating the top 3.
All right.
Yeah, so we're looking for a lot of exciting action. Still, the points championship and the super stocks not determined, or the late models as well. So
And we got Shepard going for what number?
11 in a row, trying to make it a perfect season, unblemished, unbeaten.
It's kind of interesting because a few new teams are showing up this weekend.
Yep.
I don't know if their motivation is to stop that streak, but I hear Tony McRae,
Yep.
Christian McGee, who runs both the Southwest Tour and at Irwindale,
Who's a shoe?
who gets her done.
Yes, he does.
And let's see, there's 2 or 3 others guys or teams that are planning on being there.
Right. We have Kendall Scheidecker
Kendall
returning
Scheidecker,
from
correct.
Hesperia, California in the
Right.
98. He'll be there this weekend. We're looking for a pretty good field of late models, and I think that bullseye on Buddy Shepard's back has just gotten a little bit bigger.
So kind of a lot of drama from the mini stocks all the way up because you have championship in the spec mods, championship to be decided on the super stocks, and then for the late models, it's who can stop Shepard.
Who can stop Shepard?
Right.
Nobody's been able to in the 10 previous chances. Ryan Vargas gave him a good run, but a mistake by Vargas about the halfway point cost him the race and the lead. Buddy Shepard capitalized on that, and we talked about this yesterday. It's just there's been no mechanical issues whatsoever with that 22S Hall ambulance car.
You almost overlook that when you see a streak like that, and we all know there's so many things working against you in auto racing.
Sure.
There's incidents on the track, which nobody's your fault, the other guy's fault, nobody's fault. A flat tire, a bolt breaking coming off, a part failure from bumper to bumper. Something's going to happen every once in a while.
Sure.
Not one misstep all year.
No,
It's
not
pretty
one
incredible.
misstep.
So you have to attribute. Buddy does a great job behind the wheel, but obviously that car is prepped just to perfection.
Yeah.
And probably rechecked and checked again.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
yeah,
They got a great crew and great staff behind them, and of course, cracking the whip is Kelly Shepard.
Yes.
Buddy's mom. And then we've got our final event of the year for 2016 out at Kern County Raceway, which is going to be our 3rd annual Kern County Raceway Fall Shootout. The Spears Southwest Tour Series returning for the Bulwark FR 150.
150 laps.
Man, I can't wait.
We love that. And we'll go 75, drop the yellow. Teams will come in, fuel the cars, make some adjustments, and we'll get right back to it.
So we are going to allow some adjustments. That's going to add a little wrinkle to it than what we've seen in the past.
Absolutely right. And $1,000 bonus for the halfway winner. So you'll see the guys getting up on the wheel as they approach halfway, which will make it exciting. And then $5,000 to win at the end of 150.
So guys got a shot at $6,000, and we're looking at possibly the largest field ever for a Spears Southwest Tour Series race.
At Kern County, we'll set the record for sure. So
that's great.
Yeah, and a lot of teams will come in, tuning up for the Winter Showdown for next February. But yeah, it's going to be probably one of the best shows we've ever had at Kern County Raceway.
It's awesome. Of course, we'll have the NASCAR Super Stocks, INEX Legends, and NASCAR Mini Stocks to complete that show on October 29th. And fireworks to end it. That's
Halloween fireworks spooktacular.
Halloween fireworks spooktacular. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I want to thank all of our guests, Blake Bowser, Dave Sully-Sullivan, and LC Larry Collins. Thank you guys so much. It was a great hour. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday right here on the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. Thanks again.